I'm so sorry. I've stolen your boyfriend who's making close to $200,000 a year from you. And you were so close to being married, right? Huh? I think it's best that I apologize to you right now for all this. After all, you ran into him and I while we were on a date together, right? Sorry for that. I really didn't think you'd be coming over while we were having a date in the house. What do you mean, apologize? I can tell right now that you don't mean anything by what you're saying. All you're doing now is making me even more upset than I already was with you. I was just coming to say sorry, yet you're being so mean to me now. Also, when I found you two with each other, that was around the time I was getting ready to leave Griffin anyway. So I wasn't all upset that I had to say goodbye to him. What really upset me was that it was my own friend who was going out with him behind my back. But I guess I don't care now because this was all going to happen eventually. Trying to act all tough now, are we? Don't tell me you were actually planning on breaking up with your boyfriend when he's making $200,000 a year. I know that after seeing me with him, it really hurt you, and that's what led to the breakup. And now you trying to act all tough like that's not what really happened is only making you look worse. Huh? Just tell me the truth about your feelings. You're really feeling awful inside right now because you lost your chance to marry a man of money, right? That's what I'm sure you feel like right now. Why are you being such a bitch right now, Winter? I thought you just said you were only texting me to apologize, but now you seem like you're having a ton of fun making fun of me. Is that what you really wanted from this? You're the only bitch I'm aware of here. Thinking that you could get married before a woman like me. How dare some little loser like you, who always had to sit in my shadow when you were younger, be allowed to get married before me now? You're a bitch for trying to sidestep me like that and get ahead. Excuse me. At first, I just assumed that the man you were with was some disgusting loser like yourself that no other woman had wanted. But in reality, you'd been with a man who is making $200,000 a year as an office worker. And when it comes to his face, it's kind of handsome. Griffin should have been with me from the start, and that's why he's going to marry me now. I've always been aware of just how much you love making fun of me ever since we were little. But you're right about something, and that's that I'm a pretty plain girl. And I sure was sitting in your shadow a lot of the time when we were in school together. But that is not a good enough reason to have stolen my boyfriend from me years and years later. How lame, you frickin' sore loser. You have already lost to me, so why try fighting back still? You sitting there still whining about being a loser is what makes you so unbearable. Huh? This was my first time ever stealing someone else's man, but it sure has been entertaining for me. I might start to do this more often if I have to. But I've already landed myself one of the biggest fish in the sea, so I don't really need myself another man anymore. Especially since I'm his wife now. His wife? Did you guys seriously already get married then? Of course we did. You thought I was going to let a handsome man with all his money get away from me? There would have never been another chance like this for me. And it wasn't even my idea to get married to him this quickly. He's been going on and on about wanting to marry already, that it's driving me up the wall. I see. Well, I guess someone like him would want to get married as fast as possible. Therefore, while he and I are having the best time of our lives together as husband and wife, you go sit somewhere and suck on your finger crying as you watch. I am now the one with a man making $200,000 a year, and I'm going to be the only wife this man will ever have. I just hope you can be as happy with him as you're hoping to be. Shut the hell up, you sore loser. I don't need you saying anything because I'm already happier than I thought I could ever be after talking to you.
Man, that was really shocking for me, Elia. I totally forgot that I was supposed to have a date with you, and then, after I already had Winter in the house, you came home unannounced.
That was really the worst sight I have ever seen. I thought that maybe you'd become sick and that's why you didn't show up, and so I went to your house to see what was up. And when I got there, you had Winter riding on top of you on your couch.
So, I have something very important to talk with you about now. Do you think that you can break up with me now? I have actually been wanting to be with Winter for a while now, and we even have plans to marry.
I thought we'd already broken up. So go ahead and marry her now. I went over to your house wanting to break up with you anyway when you skipped that last date, so there you go.
Thank you so much. Oh, and one other thing. All those things of mine over at your place, you can just toss out.
I gladly will then. Now, is there anything else you have to say to me before I go? You stabbed me in the back in such a way that will scar me for life, I think.
What? I don't really have anything left to say to you now. And if you're looking for an apology from me, it's not coming.
What?
Are you waiting to hear from me my reason for why I wanted to go with Winter over you? I bet you'd just love to know why for your next boyfriend, right? Well, that's a good thing to think about, learning from your previous relationships.
Huh?
So if you want your reason to learn from, here it is. The reason I'm leaving you for her is because of nothing other than your face. Instead of your donkey face, I'd much prefer to have the beautiful Winter by my side. Now, if you don't want to keep losing to all the other women around you, you'd better work on your face's features.
I never thought you were that pathetic until now, Griffin. Not only have you hurt me and have no plans to apologize, you're making fun of my face? Now you've really gotten on my nerves.
You can't stop others from loving those they find more attractive than you, so why should I have to apologize for finding the girl of my dreams? But wouldn't it be enough to just say that I left you for her because of her looks, right? Well, let's just put it this way then. Winter's family has a lot of money, right? Compared to your family, which is filled with a bunch of simple idiots.
That's what I thought. To you, her family having a lot of money is a very important thing to you. Had that not been important to you, then you would have had a very hard time paying off your last settlement from your ex-wife.
What?
I'm sure you just love to make it sound like those were your only reasons for leaving me, but in reality, the reason you left me for Winter is to have her money in order to pay off the rest of that settlement, right? You've been having to pay off that settlement to your ex for months now, and you would much rather take care of it all right now so you don't have to worry anymore, right?
Wait a second. Why do you know about all that? I never told you anything about having an ex-wife.
Sure, my family may be full of just some simple people, but both my parents are always worried about the kind of people I'm with. And since I'm their only daughter, they make sure that they know everything. And when they found out I was dating you, they wanted to know everything about the history you've had.
What?
I mean, why wouldn't they want to know about you, right? You always said that you were making a lot of money, but only ever took me to your place for dates. And when it came to my birthday, you would only ever get me things like tokens for the local arcade and crap like that. That really got my parents a bit worried about you, and so they went ahead and did a bit of deep investigating into you. By using a detective, of course.
They seriously asked for someone to help snoop on me?
And the result from that was us learning about how you have been married once before, and you also happen to have a kid with that woman. I never knew either of those things, Griffin. And before we could tell the detective we'd had enough, they stated that you were also having to pay child support to her every month. That's why you always acted like you had no money at all and would only ever take me to your house for dates.
What?
Now that I think about it, isn't your ex-wife the daughter of a very powerful business owner? Is that why she was not only able to get a lot of child support from you each month, but also that massive settlement from you this year? I was told by the detective that you were so afraid of her parents that you couldn't even fight her in court, and they were able to ask for as much as they wanted from you.
This can't be happening. How could you have figured all of that out, too?
The fact that you chose to hide all of that very important stuff from me is really sad. But you know what makes me the most sad? Hearing from all your friends that all you thought of me was as an easy way to get some money. Thankfully, the detective was able to dig a little bit deeper by going out with your friends and sitting next to them recording everything they were saying about you and I at the bar.
What?
That's why that day I was going to head to your place to break up with you. The date was originally when I wanted to tell you things were over, but you never even showed up to that. So when I made it to your house to see what was up, I got more than I wanted to see. And at that moment, I realized I had no more feelings for you anymore, besides hate.
Wait, Alaya, I really am sorry for having cheated on you like that, so I think I'll come out to see you so that I can get on my hands and knees and apologize.
Huh?
And so, can you make sure to keep the fact that I have an ex-wife and a kid a secret from Winter for me? You haven't told her about all of that yet, right?
That's right.
Then please, Alaya, as long as you don't tell her anything about them, I'll apologize for cheating on you. I'll do whatever you ask me to make it up to you. So please keep all of that a secret from her, okay?
I won't tell her.
Are you sure you won't?
You think I really care to talk with a bitch like her anymore? I don't care what she thinks about you anymore and what you choose to keep a secret. I also have no real reason to be telling her anything. Just don't take this as me helping you in any way, all right? I don't want to talk to any of you anymore, so from here on out, we're done. Ties cut. I don't want to even have to think about what you look like anymore.
Sure thing. I will do as you've asked and never talk to you again. It's a promise. Just as long as you promise to never ever tell her about any of the things I've done. Okay.
Hey, Alia. Where do you think Griffin and I should have our wedding at? Do you think it would be a good idea having it overseas somewhere? Something like a wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so I should be going all out, right? Really? So you've come to talk about your wedding now? Well, of course I have. I told you that since I got the man you took from me back, we're going to be getting married now. And last night I finally had him come over to see my parents. When that happened, my dad was begging for Griffin to hurry up and marry me. I guess neither of my parents ever thought I could reel in a man making $200,000 a year, right? This is turning into a really fast relationship then. But I think you should take it a bit slower so that you don't lose your bearing. Wah, wah, wah. I can see you'll try anything up your sleeve to get us to not have a wedding. Are you trying to buy yourself some time so that you can come and steal Griffin back from me? Well, that's going to be impossible for you. Impossible! There's no way a plain bitch like you could ever win against me. That's not what I'm trying to do. I don't love Griffin anymore. Is that right? Then would you like me to invite you out to our wedding? You are one of my good longtime friends after all, right? And if you want me to give you another title, you're like Griffin's and my Cupid. Huh? I guess we really should be having this wedding overseas after all. That would be even more luxurious of us, and it would make you feel even worse about what's happened. Oh, but I was also thinking about having a more traditional Christian ceremony here in the U.S. This will be my only chance to show you, so I was thinking of doing it right in front of God himself. I have so many things I want to do for my wedding that it's too hard to choose. Then how about you talk with Griffin about that instead of me? He's done both styles of wedding before, so... What? He has experience, so you could ask him what kind of atmosphere would be best for your guys' wedding. So if you're really that indecisive right now, hurry up and ask for his opinion on that. That is one of those things where asking one with experience is best. Wait, hold on just a second. Why are you saying that Griffin has experience with this? Are you saying that he's had experience with both an overseas wedding and a traditional wedding before? So sorry about that. I totally forgot that you'd need to be brought up to speed on all of that stuff. Did you know that he's already been married once before? That's why he has such experience with weddings and such. Excuse me? And when it comes to his ex-wife, she was one heck of a woman. She told him that she wanted to have both a wedding in a chapel as well as one overseas in Africa or something. And so with no other choice really, Griffin went ahead and gave her both of those weddings. She really had a lot of power, I think. But that's what happens when your father is the owner of a large company. Wait a second. What? He's been married before. I never heard anything about that. And wait, what? You knew all about that and you still dated him? Not at all, actually. I had no clue he'd gone through with any of that before me. I only learned about that a few days before breaking up with him. Are you kidding me? Oh, and another thing. There is one other very important thing I have to tell you. Griffin had one kid with his ex-wife before they divorced. He has a kid with her as well? And now he's having to pay a lot to her in child support every month. Which kind of gives me this feeling that he won't have the money to give you a really nice wedding this time around. So that's why it's best that you go and talk to him about the funding you'll have before planning everything out. You're joking. He's having to pay child support as well? And he's having to pay as much as you've made it seem like? From what I was told, he's having to give her close to half of what he makes every year. So when you look at his income with that in mind, he's really only making around $100,000 a year. What? She's able to get that much in child support from him each year? I told you that she is a very powerful father, right? And, well, whatever he did to her that caused the divorce seemed to have really pissed off her mother and father as well. And with the help of her father's lawyers, she was able to get way more than she first asked for. If you're wanting to hear all of the details about that, though, you should really ask Griffin. You have to be lying. You're telling me that my $200,000 a year is actually just $100,000? Wait, that's not your $200,000, right? He's the one earning it all, and that makes it all his. But even if he's not making $200,000 now for himself, $100,000 is still a really good salary. What are you talking about? $100,000 isn't going to be nearly enough for me. Everyone on the news has already been saying that you can't live fancy anymore with just $100,000 a year. Which means that if my husband isn't making at least $200,000 a year, then my dream of being a wealthy wife is never going to happen. Then break up with Griffin, although he has just met with your parents and everything. And you went through all that work taking him away from me. I can't. I don't really care what you do, though. Has nothing to do with me, right? If you guys do end up having a wedding, send me an invitation, all right? I can go there to see it if I have the free time to kill.
You've really done it now, telling her the truth. You actually went and told her about my ex-wife and my child with her.
I thought I told you this. I wasn't keeping that a secret from her in order to help you or anything. And, well, when she was just talking to me, she really started to make my skin crawl. So in my anger and disgust, I told her about your true history.
Why would you do that to me? I was finally gonna have myself an even better ATM to use. Her family has all that money, and I thought I finally had myself a way to pay off all my debt to my ex-wife and that damn child support. If she runs from me now, how will you take responsibility for it?
Damn, you really don't know how to make yourself at least seem all right.
If this leads to her really leaving me, I will not forgive you at all.
Sure thing. I don't care if you hate me or not.
God damn it. Now that all of this has gone to hell, I'd better start looking for my next walking bank. No, first I have to try getting her to stay with me. As long as I can keep her from leaving me, I'll be okay. Damn it! Because of your goddamn talking, my whole game plan has gone to crap! What am I gonna do, Aliyah? I need to find a way to get that chick to break up with me right now. Hurry up and come help me out here.
Huh? Why are you wanting to break up with her now? Yesterday you couldn't stop talking about how she would be such a great ATM for you, right? You should be happy she doesn't want to leave you.
Not at all. None of this is good. Winter, She's pregnant right now.
What? Is that right?
This morning I was asked to come see her. I thought she would be asking me to break up with her, but instead she told me she was pregnant. And that's why she now wants me to marry her.
Perfect. You're not going to have yourself a baby with her, and you won't have to lose her.
How the hell is that perfect? I already have myself a new girlfriend now and no longer need Winter.
What? You made a new girlfriend already?
I thought for sure she'd throw me away. So I thought the best choice would be to find myself a new girl right away. I wouldn't say I'm dating her just yet, but I talked a lot with her last night on this dating app. She told me that she's a doctor making $300,000 a year right now. We're both still talking to one another right now, and I'm feeling like she's the one for me now.
In other words, you would have been happier had Winter broken up with you? I see. But now she wants you to marry her because she's carrying your baby, of all things. Things have really spun out of control, haven't they?
That's why I'm asking you to please make it look like I'm a terrible man to her. Tell her about how I had no money to take you on any dates and how I didn't get you anything good as presents on your birthdays. You go tell Winter right now all the bad things about me, please. Then she'll have to want to leave me and find someone else, right?
I'm not getting wrapped up in your massive crap show. If you want to leave her now, you go up to her face and tell her that you don't love her anymore. But just know that if you're wanting to break up with her now, you're still going to have to pay for things like child support afterwards. You have to take responsibility as the father of that baby she's carrying.
No goddamn way! I'm already having a hard enough time as it is paying for my last wife's kid. You're telling me I'll have to pay for 2 different kids now?
You did all of that to yourself. Good luck talking to Winter about that. This is the worst. Griffin has been talking to another woman behind my back. I was finally forgiving him for not telling me about his ex-wife or the child support and was even willing to stay married to him. Yet now he wants for us to break up still? And he told me he would only pay a couple $100 a month to me as child support. So you guys already spoke about everything? This can't be happening. He then started to go on about how the kid might not even be his, like a real jackass. But you don't know that yourself either, do you? Go and have a test done to see whether or not he really needs to pay you child support every month. But if he is the father, he said he was only willing to give me a couple $100 a month. That's too little. He's paying his ex-wife $100,000 a year, yet he won't pay that much to me? Well, you're going to have to talk with him a little more to figure all of that out. It's not like there's a rule behind all of it, and if you really want help getting him to pay you more, get yourself a lawyer. And if that doesn't even help you and you're not able to raise your kid, you'll have no choice but to give them up for adoption. I will not do that. Even if all of that happens, the kid is mine. My parents also said they'd help with my baby, so I'm keeping them. They're going to help? And as for you, Alia, as my longtime friend, you need to help me out here as well. What? It would be impossible for me to have to raise my baby all by myself, right? And both of my parents are not young, so having to watch a baby for me all the time would be tough on them. I need to have someone the same age as me helping out. And why do you think I should be the one to help? Why wouldn't you help? You're not only Griffin's ex-girlfriend, but this is going to be the kid of a man you still love, right? Being able to take care and raise his baby should make you happier than ever, right? So they just let all you lunatics out of the mental hospital? Screw that! It's not that I have anything against the kid, but you're better off aborting it if that's the way you think. It was only a little while ago that I had to walk in on you screwing my boyfriend, right? That mistake you made is never going to change, and I will never forgive you for it. And if you really, really need my help that badly, then let me go and tell both of your parents about how you stole my boyfriend from me first. What? I'll tell them that their daughter went and slept with the boyfriend of one of her longtime friends and then stole him from her. What do you think your parents will think of you after hearing that? They may want to help you with your baby right now, but what will they want to do when they learn that you had that baby with my boyfriend who you stole from me? What? Don't do that! Don't you say anything useless to my parents about that! It's not useless, it's the frickin' truth! You know what? I'm not too far from your parents' house. I might go and talk with them right now about it. At times like this, it really is important to have longtime childhood friends, right? Because we've been living so close to one another forever. I can be to their house in 5 minutes even. I'll start walking to their place right now. After that, I immediately went over and told both of Winter's parents about everything she'd done to me with Griffin. Neither of them knew a thing about all of that, and when her mother heard what I said about walking in on them having sex, she fainted. Following all of that, Winter was asked to go back to her family's house with Griffin, and there was this huge discussion that ended with them both agreeing to take responsibility for what they'd done and get married. But even though they would be taking responsibility for their actions, neither of Winter's parents would support them in any way. After having gotten married, both Winter and Griffin tried to talk with his ex-wife about lowering the amount of child support he had to pay to her every month by using their soon-to-be-born child as an excuse. But Griffin's ex-wife just laughed their offer and excuse off and told Griffin he was going to be paying her that child support until her son was 18. Because of that, Griffin was never able to afford to give Winter the wedding of her dreams, and she had to settle for a speed wedding in Vegas. And as for that fancy life as a married woman she was hoping for, it soon turned into having on and off fights with Griffin all the time about money and the soon-to-come baby. To this day, whenever Griffin has to pay his ex-wife child support at the end of the month, Winter has a breakdown and the cycle of fighting and crying starts all over for the next month.